you want to travel. You found crazy cheap airfare on a low budget airline and you're a little bit nervous. How can you prepare for this flight and make it a success? Let's face it, airfare is your biggest cost when it comes to travel. And the best way to lower your costs is to fly with budget airlines. But we all know that budget airlines have horrible reputation for being just awful. I'm here to give you 5 tips for budget airline travel to make your travel just a little bit easier. So, tip number 1 is to try to pack carry-on only and know the dimensions and weights allowed for your personal item. So most budget airlines have 3 different distinctions for luggage. So there's checked luggage, which is like your big suitcase. There's carry-on luggage, which is that little, usually a roller suitcase. And then there's a personal item. And normally they think most people think of a personal item as like your purse. But most airlines allow you to bring like a backpack, like a school-sized backpack, just a general backpack as a personal item. And so when I went to Europe and England, I packed everything I needed for 3 weeks into one little backpack. And it actually worked really well. So that backpack needs to fit under the seat in front of you. And my backpack fit under the seat in front of me just fine. And it even had room to bring back this big stuffed dog for one of my sons. So try and pack carry-on only. It makes it so much easier. Tip number 2 is to download the airline app and check in online. So most of these airlines have really cheap rate, like flight, but then if you want to check in at the airport, it's another fee. If you want them to print you a boarding pass, it's another fee. All of these things add up. So download their app on your phone, check in online. You can usually do it 24 hours in advance. And a lot of them will give you like a virtual boarding pass, or you can print out your own. And so I've printed out boarding passes at hostels. I've printed out boarding passes. A lot of times if you go to a local library, they'll let you do it. Maybe it costs you a couple cents. But avoid doing it at the airport because usually it's a lot of money. It'll be like $10 just to print you out a boarding pass. And there's no way that a piece of paper is worth $10. Tip number 3 is be prepared for absolutely no extras and no frills. So a friend of mine and I were discussing this, and we said it's like riding a school bus in the air. So most people, when they think of going on an airplane ride, they think, okay, so the stewardess is going to come down, she's going to offer me a drink, I'm going to get lunch, I'm going to, if I'm tired, I can ask for a pillow and a blanket. Most of these budget airlines, they have that, but it's a fee. So unless you're willing to pay all those extra fees, be prepared for no extras, no frills, no nothing. And one way that I deal with that is I have headphones in my bag for myself and each one of my kids that I have sets that can plug into the armrest if need be, or that plug into our phones. I download movies onto our phones from Netflix or whatever other option we have. I bring snacks, I bring water, I bring wipes to wipe everybody's face and hands with. I just come prepared, and I find that by being prepared and not anticipating any extras, I'm not disappointed. Tip number 4 is be prepared to pay for any extra luggage. So let's say you've booked this cheap flight and you've packed and you realize that between you and your 3 kids, you're gonna need 2 big suitcases. Be prepared to pay for those because they're not included. They're probably not included in your rate. And just know that any extra baggage is going to cost you money. Tip number 5. So a lot of these lower budget airlines don't have the greatest customer service. And so one thing that I've learned is there's these other brokers, I guess you could call them. So like Expedia, and there's other ones. Anyway, when I went to England and Europe, I booked from Skyscanner, and it was through one of these brokers. And so I'd never actually heard of them before. My way to England was amazing, but coming back, my 1 day and 1 night trip, I was supposed to leave this day and come and be home by that day, turned into a 3-day, 3-night ordeal. And the company that I booked through was spectacular with dealing with that. So if I would have had to deal with each individual low budget airline, I probably would have been really frustrated and not as satisfied. But because I could call one number because I had a lot of connections, so I'll call that one number and they would deal with each one for me on my behalf. They were also able to, so I got stuck in Spain, and she was able to find me a hotel with a free shuttle that would come and pick me up and take me back to the hotel and bring me back to the airport in the morning for my flight. And that was no cost to me. She was also able to arrange for me to get food at this one restaurant in the airport. She had called and gave them credit, or I don't know how she did it, but anyway, I was able to have that. So it worked out really well for me, and I would really recommend that you book through I'm saying broker, but I'm pretty sure that's not the right word, but like Expedia, or the one that I used was Kiwi.com. There's a whole bunch of them, and I would really suggest that you book through those. So my 5 tips for budget airline travel are to pack carry-on only and know your dimensions and your weights for what you are allowed at that rate. Check in online and download the app. Be prepared for no extras and no frills. And number 4 is be prepared to pay for any extra luggage or services that you feel you need. And number 5 is to book through a broker company like Expedia or Kiwi or whatever. And those are my 5 tips for traveling budget airlines. I really hope that you will consider to fly a budget airline. They're very cheap, and they can be very successful if you know what you're doing and are more relaxed and just willing to go with the flow.